It's day 2 of the fragile ceasefire in West Asia, but Lebanon continues to burn and live through chaos and fear, with cities in ruins and families continuing to search for their loved ones. The air is filled with smoke and uncertainty as Israel continues its campaign across Lebanon. Attacks across Lebanon continue throughout the day today, targeting additional areas in Lebanon, including Abbasiyeh and Tere. Smoke was seen rising from buildings as the Israeli military sought to hit Hezbollah targets. Scenes of widespread destruction were captured in Beirut's southern suburbs. Workers in heavy machinery worked to clear the wreckage, while burnt and destroyed vehicles were scattered among the rubble. Interceptions were also seen in the sky over the border as Israel exchanges fire with Hezbollah. Lebanon's Prime Minister, meanwhile, has declared a national day of mourning and ordered that all public offices will remain shut throughout the day. Flags at government offices across the country were lowered as well. Lebanese people gathered on the streets of Beirut to bid farewell to their loved ones. Scenes of desperation were also witnessed at the borders with Syria, where hundreds gathered at the Masna passage to seek safety and relief. The crossing at the Lebanon-Syria border was reopened after intense Israeli strikes. Hezbollah also responded with force and fired rockets at the Israeli territory. It has released a footage of its fighters targeting an Israeli naval vessel off the Lebanese coast with a naval cruise missile. International reactions, meanwhile, have been swift and condemnatory. China has called for the respect of Lebanese sovereignty, while the UK, the European Union, Canada and Australia all voiced strong opposition to the wave of Israeli airstrikes, warning that the violence threatens to unravel the fragile truce.
Lebanon's sovereignty and security should not be violated. The safety of civilian lives and property must be guaranteed. China calls on relevant parties to maintain calm and exercise restraint, promoting a cooling down of the regional situation.
Now, Hezbollah insists that any ceasefire agreement between the US and Iran must include Lebanon, a stance supported by Iran, which has warned of severe consequences for violations. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian, meanwhile, says that the Israeli strikes on Lebanon violate the ceasefire agreement and will render negotiations meaningless. Pezeshkian says that Iran will not abandon the Lebanese people. Iran's parliament speaker Ghalibaf has said that Lebanon was a key part of a 2-week ceasefire with the US. Ghalibaf has warned that failing to comply with these terms will be considered a violation and would bring severe consequences. Washington, meanwhile, has openly backed Israel's position that Lebanon, it falls outside the scope of the ceasefire. In fact, this stance has further eroded confidence in the deal. But with America tied up with the ceasefire with Iran, Netanyahu no longer has the full range of American support. Remember, the military firepower, intelligence sharing and access to advanced weaponry of Washington is now very important to back Netanyahu's intense operations further. In the past conflicts, this American assistance has been a key factor enabling Netanyahu to pursue intense military campaigns without overstretching the IDF. Remember, a few days back, the IDF chief, Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, had reportedly raised flags in front of the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu and warned that the IDF will collapse. He stated that the IDF will not be ready for its routine missions in the near future and that its reserve system will not last. Zamir had called upon Netanyahu to enact new bills for reservists and extending compulsory service to improve this situation.